Hello, I'm Otto and welcome to episode 61 of my Factorio Space Age Guide. So in the last episode, we started out by poking around with the Calcite ship, and we're going to continue on a little bit with that because we have some things to kind of solidify with that. And we also made some hot fluoroketone and some cold fluoroketone, and then set up return lines so that the used cold fluoroketone that has turned into hot fluoroketone has somewhere to go, and that we can always have something set up to make sure that that has a way out in the machines. So in this episode, we're going to be making some dark blue science, some cryogenic science, and we're going to be making that over here next to the fluoroketone, the cold fluoroketone anyways. Oh, geez. Come on, bots, you can do it. Oh, I should have put more heat pipes on my request. Whatever it is, what it is. That way, if we're doing a kind of a block section like this, then I definitely have enough, but whatever. And I need some more concrete and ice platforms. I'm not going to rely on the bots for those. We're just going to go grab it. Okay, so the thing about the cryogenic science packs is it crafts very slow. So the way that we're going to end up getting around that is we're going to craft a lot of it. So let's take a look and see what we need. Let's get our parameters set actually. Nope. There we go. Okay. Really? Yeah, we do need to make sure that we make connections every now and then because, like, for instance, here we have a cut connection, have a cut here, so this is going through here. So the only place that this area here had to connect to the rest of it was back here. And the more we can have that kind of, going forward, the better. All right, so let's see what we need. Cryogenic science. We need 3 ice, 1 lithium plate, 6 fluoroketone, and we need an outline for cryogenic science packs and for hot fluoroketone. And this is over 20 seconds. So we only need 0.3 per second for the ice, 0.1 per second for the lithium plate, 0.6 per second for the cold fluoroketone, and this outputs 0.1 science packs. Wow, that is very low. So to kind of combat that, we are going to want to try to, like, we're aiming for like 5 per second, right? We're not going to have that starting out, and that's okay. But that's kind of our goal, is to get to 5 science per second, and we're going to solve that initially we're not going to solve it. We're just going to put in a build. We're going to have, a little bit trickling out, and then as we start to kind of get some of the tech off of Aquilo, we can then beef things up because we will have a little bit of extra power because of a lovely tech that we get here. Anyways, so before we even get into that, one thing that's kind of nice about this build is we kind of already have a mock build. We have a guy over here that has 2 solids incoming. We need 2 solids incoming. This has 3 fluids to deal with. So we have 2 fluids to deal with, and we have an extra solid to deal with. So we can probably replace one of the fluids with a solid. So we're going to actually just copy this. And we're going to shift paste this over here and see what we can do. So I'm going to change this to the cryogenic science. So we do not need 2 liquids coming in. We have 2 solids coming in here, so this is fine. We have an outgoing liquid here, which is fine. So this is an exit for hot fluoroketone. We do not need 2 liquids coming in, so we can just maybe remove this one and all of its areas. That can stay, this is going. And we would need to then have this come out, let's say here. Now, the last couple of planets, I have put rockets within the build, and I kind of decided against that this time. I was playing with the idea because I was like, okay, well, we only need a couple of rockets. The bots can take as much time as they need to bring the materials over, but I'm like, you know what? I would kind of rather have this closer, so we're actually going to put this on the bus and drag it backwards. We're going to have it come somewhere back here. We will probably have some rockets somewhere in this middle area, maybe even down here. Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have them down here. We are going to need trains at some point, so I'm kind of leaving maybe a large portion like this open. I don't know if I want trains over here or down here, you know, wherever, but we do need to keep this this section here in mind. But even that being said, I could still put some rockets down here because at some point we're gonna, well, we could always remove these because we have so much lithium brine elsewhere. We have lithium brine over here, down here, down here. So there's lots of areas that we could get more from. So we couldn't, you know, just completely disregard this section completely and not worry about it and just have everything be trained in. And you know what? We might not even get to that point. We might not even need to get to that point depending on, you know, what the rest of this turns out or how the rest of this turns out because, you know, we're really close to beating the game. So that could potentially be like a future, like if you were going to continue on or mega base or, yeah, you know, just sometimes it's just fun to just play around with the game, like get some more of the upgrades, get some more quality upgrades and play around with builds and expand and just maybe not necessarily 100% dig into mega basing, but you know, just kind of continue on. I've done that a couple times and it's pretty fun. So we're going to plan on returning the cryogenic science packs down this way. And since we're doing that, we need a way to bring it back. So this needs to be cut. We're going to move it here and maybe something like that. We are not going to be able to completely hop this, so this will need to, these are going to have to leapfrog this way, and let's say that we, because I think we're going to end up on this line here. We have no solids set up for this. We just had fluorine and our initial hot fluoroketone. So as long as we stick to one side, we should be able to leapfrog or leap over all of this. All right, let's see if that actually landed. Yeah, so that'll be fine. I mean, even worst case scenario, we just have a spot here where, you know, we collect it in a chest and then the bots can take it wherever the line or wherever the rockets end up being. Okay, so let's finish figuring out how this is going to work. So if we did that over there, we can probably assume that the same thing is able to be done over here. And again, we're kind of leaving this, you know, modular, so we want to be able to bring things in from behind if we ever decide to double it up. And then we just need inserters. And then obviously we're going to have some issues. Oh, that was easy. Might as well mirror it. Okay, so I think that does it. We just need to get some fluorine in, some cold fluorine. Which was, I believe, going to be on this line. I know, it's always funny just doing this when it's like right next door, but you know what, this is how we keep organized. Put things on the bus, take things off the bus. And not only that, but we will need some of this later, so this would continue down. You know, again, the whole leapfrog thing. So what else do we need? We need to get in some lithium plate and some ice. Ice we know we have, loads of. We're just chucking it away. Okay, so we need to set this up too. All right, that is not a big deal. So that is going to... let's say do something like that. And then we can drag it down, and ice is going to need to come in. Let's go ahead and get this set up. Alright, so now we know what we're working with. We need to get into this section here, so that is going to be this. And then we need to bring in, what was the other one? Lithium plate. So lithium plate was kind of up here. Alright, there's ice. That was easy. And lithium plate is back here. I don't actually know where we ended up putting this. We didn't. It's back here. Alright, so at least we have lithium plate. Yeah, I guess we just built it. I don't know why I did undergrounds. I mean, it's more concrete and it's more ice platforms, but we are not, you know, short on any of those. And then we will need the lithium plate to continue on because we will need it for quantum processors, and we might even make a section off the bus for foundation. We'll see. Like, this takes a long time to craft, so having, you know, having the bots, like the bots can deal with this. This is not a big deal. The fusion power cells, we can just, you know, bring that in as needed. The foundations though, I mean, this takes a long time to craft, and I don't think we'd be able to get all this stuff on the bus though. Maybe. We'll see. Cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. So if we branched this off, you know what? We could just do it like this. Easy. Okay, everybody's working. We are making cryogenic science. Yes. So we can make 0.1 per machine. So we were making 0.8 per, like this is a 0.8 build. This is very, very small. So we're going to end up extending this by at least, we're going to at least double it for now. Let's copy this and see what that looks like. Okay, the power poles do not need to be like that. We can just have one, hopefully have one somewhere right in the middle. Yes, that will cover, yep, that's going to cover everything that we need. Awesome. Come on, guys, you can do it. I will help you. I will pick you up. That was actually... I didn't have to adjust anything except for the substation. Nice. These guys are all crafting. I mean, you don't want to waste anything, right? Aw. Whatever. I guess we're wasting a little bit. And look at that. We have cryogenic science. Awesome. I know at least for now... At least for now, let's collect it and... Yeah, we'll just keep it in a container. Thankfully, it doesn't have spoilage like Glubus, so not a big deal. Do we even have a rocket down? We haven't even placed a rocket down. Maybe we should try to... Okay, we aren't that far into this episode, so let's... I do have a rocket. Excuse me, why do I not have steel? There should be someone... Really? Thanks, phone. Appreciate it. Okay, so I do not have steel. Why do I not have steel? There should be someone... These are the only two. Really? I didn't set up rocket for any of these? Okay, well, not a big deal. That ship can get some of that. Get some of that going. Alright, so let's just... I have a rocket and... Oof. Where do I want to put this? For now, I think I might just slap it down over here somewhere. Okay, and let's give this guy some modules. We don't have too many modules to give him, but it is what it is. Oh wait, yeah we do. We've got... Nice. Can I heat some beacons? Nice. Not that it's necessary, and oof. It's not necessary. We're good. You know what? It's fine. Why are we so low on power? What is going on here? Water. Why do we not have water? Ice is... We're short on ice. Well, that's odd. Not something I expected to be saying. We are not using the ammonia fast enough. Okay, so now that we have cryogenic science packs going, we can probably... Low power. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is not good. Okay, we're going to take one of these out. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to collect some ice here. Basically all of it. Wow, there's that much ice in there. And we're going to make sure we don't run out of power, because that would be terrible. Okay, these are running. These are running. Whew. That could have been bad. Tell you what, we're going to add that back, but we're going to give these guys conditions. We're going to hold all belts, and we're going to tell these guys if ice... I mean, this is a terrible indicator because this has nothing to do with the earlier ice or how much ice we have, you know, on the right side of the base, but at least in this case, we can kind of maybe try to save it. If ice is less than... Enable if lice... What? Lice. Enable if ice is greater than 600? Oh, I cannot wait to get science started. We have a couple more. Okay, so before I end the episode, I want to check out the Calcite ship. So we have a module problem, and thankfully, so we are over novice right now, I believe. We are over novice. So we need 36 productivity modules. So let's take a look at our upcycler. We have 54 of the regular and 54 of the productivity. And these guys are often behind, largely because of the lack of calcite. So the faster that we can get this going, the better. So for our calcite ship, I am actually just going to upgrade these. Do I want to do blue? Yeah, why not? So those are going to be upgraded. And I think they were the only ones that had productivity in them. The rest were... yeah. And I guess while we're waiting, I am going to go ahead and change these to what they were going to be if I did want to collect some calcite. It's instead of occasionally chucking it over the edge. Good thing we didn't throw all this down yet, right? Oh, that's not good. It is what it is. Do we have any... a single regular stack inserter. Awesome. That's actually perfect. Okay, so we're going to filter this for calcite, and we are going to wire him and say enable if calcite is less than, no, greater than 130. We have this one set up to check everything if it's greater than 150. So now this can start to collect the calcite. Good. Okay. So we have all of these met. We still need the speed modules. So let's go to Volcanus. And we're going to do the same thing once we get there. And actually the ship here. So I'm not worried about the Vulcan ship. I mean, he's taken forever. Why did it say we only had... Whatever. Anyways. So the Calcite, so the old Calcite ship, we can just take that back to Novice, and that's all we're going to have him do. So he can stay there. We are not going to worry about having him go back out. We are going to dismantle the ship and probably eventually repurpose it. So we're going to create it and make it into a different ship. And we will probably start that process in the next episode. Around the time... I usually kind of do it once before I go to Aquilo, but we're going to do it after we're done with Aquilo. We're pretty close. You know, we're near the end, right? I like to have a ship that is Aquilo capable, so it'll be this model. It can go around to all 5 of the planets, and I usually call it the Collector. I just want a ship that's going to go around and... Let's see. So we have regular long-hand inserters, we have blue inserters, we have, you know, a variety green inserters, different substations. I like to make a ship that I call the Collector, and its only purpose is to literally go around and collect all the quality that is not the quality that we want to actively be using and dump it onto the respective planets, which is great with our upcyclers because, for instance, if we had just regular rank 3 modules, all of our buffer chests are requesting in those modules. So if there's anything out there, all we have to do is set something up for whatever receiving devices or receiving mechanisms we have. Okay, Calcite 2. I should have also dumped all of this before we took off. It is what it is. Okay, so he's over Novice. We're just going to send all the Calcite down. I think this might be the first ship that we're actually going to tear down. Everything can go. Goodbye. Nope. Stop. Man, it is so cool that all this kind of just happens. I don't know what's up with this part, though. There's always some, like, weird squiggly line that happens. Yeah, what is that? I have no clue what that is about. But it is what it is. We can probably just hold on to most of this, so... this is no longer going to be our Calcite ship. Okay, I'm not going to deal with that now. That's going to be it for me for this episode. In the next episode, we need to make some... Well, we need to get some science going. So I might end up... Here's what we're going to do. I'm gonna have a time skip. I'm gonna let some things play out. I want to get... Oh no. I need these first, don't I? I do. So we are gonna have to do quantum processors next. Ah! Gotta get this before we can get this. Okay, well, it is what it is. Whoops. So we need to get to some fusion power. Fusion power is like the absolute best. It is kind of like nuclear, but better and doesn't require water and doesn't have a byproduct. So yeah, it just accepts fuel and is good to go. And we're going to hopefully set that up in a couple of episodes. That's a good one because you can plant one of those down on each of the planets and your power problems completely disappear pretty much. Okay, so in the next episode, we are doing quantum processors, and hopefully maybe we'll get to the point where we can unlock some, you know, other things and maybe some other things, and yeah. All right, that's going to be it for me for this episode. I will see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.